Hi, good day everyone. My name is Robbie Jane Labrador Piñones. I'm with Aubrey Duetes and Miss Shaina Bualan, and we are the Group F. So since we already know and we watch and listen for the first group, the Group E, where they discuss the definition, classifications, and the causes, characteristics of the hearing impaired. Now, the Group F will be discussed or will be continue the discussion. Now, our group will be discuss the rehabilitation programs for the hearing impaired. So this topic, the rehabilitation programs for the hearing impaired, is divided into three parts, which are the assessment will be discussed by me, and the educational options will be discussed with Miss Aubrey Duetes, and the programs will be discussed by Miss Shaina Bualan. So now let's proceed and let's start the assessment. So the assessment of hearing loss. So what is the assessment of hearing loss? This is the behavioral audiometry evaluation. Will assess how a person reacts to sound in general. This is the behavioral audiometry evaluation, assesses the functions of the entire ear. The person being tested must be alert and respond actively to sounds heard during the test. So it means this is the hearing test, provide an evaluation of the person's of the sensitivity of a person's sense of hearing, and it is the most often performed by an audiologist using an audiometer. So the audiometer, this is the thing they use. So what is an audiometer? An audiometer is used to determine the person hearing sensitivity at different frequencies. So in the next lines, there are other hearing tests that will be used in an example of an audiometer. So in the absence of an audiometer, the following simple test may be administered. So we have 6 simple tests here. First is the noisemaker test. So what are some examples of noisemaker test? Example of that is guitar. Something gagawa ka ng tunog like guitar, kahit anong mga bagay na gagawa ng maingay na tunog. Whisper test, yung pagbulong. Calling name test, yung pagtawag ng pangalan. Watch tick test, yung test is yung tunog o ingay ng oras sa relo, di ba? Maririnig natin yan, yung paggalaw, may tunog. Ballpen click test, yung ballpen na parang yung may click, yung example nun, yung may ballpen na i-click mo lang. And then command test. So this is some example of simple tests. So now let's proceed to the significant observation of those people who are hearing impaired. So first, by the way, we have 13 significant observation. So first, watch his faces, especially the mouth of the speaker when talked to. So malalaman mo yun kapag ang isang tao ay mahilig tumingin sa mukha ng tao, especially sa baba habang nagsasalita. Yun, malalaman mo na may something wrong sa hindi nakakarinig. Yung gumagamit sila ng sign language na yun, gana hindi ka marinig, gano'n. Next is show strain ng kanyang pandinig. Next is makes use of more natural gestures, signs, movements to express himself. Diba? Yung mga medyo bingi, yung hindi nakakarinig, yan, ganun. Yun yung mga taong may hearing impaired. So, fifth, pays more attention to vibration of vibrating objects. Ganon. 6, often ask for repetition of questions or statements. Ito yung mga taong paulit-ulit nagtatanong. Next is fails to respond immediately, yung late reaction. 8, has a blank facial expression when talked to, yung parang wala lang. 9, often unable to follow oral directions or instructions. Yeah, obviously, is less responsive to noise, voice, or music, shows marked immediativeness at work play, has difficulty associating concrete with abstract ideas, and has poor general learning performance. So, those are the 13 significant observation or assessment observations. So, now let's proceed in the areas of assessment. So, there have 4 areas of assessment. So, if your child or the child is difficulties on tests of balance and general coordination, it means in more physical, if he or she have problem. So if your child is no proof of sensory compensation, no limitations on cognitive abilities and functions with the normal range of intelligence, your child is belong in the area of perceptual and cognitive. So next is the language and speech area. So this is the area if your child is basic deprivation of deafness is not the loss of the sound but the deprivation of language, deficits in receptive, expressive, or integrative language. So ito yung mga batang may problema sa kanilang language and speech. So you are belong into the language and speech area. And lastly is the psychosocial area, where your child is more emotional and have social characteristics. Your child is belong into the psychosocial area. So this is all assessments of rehabilitation program for the hearing impaired. Now let's proceed in educational options, where Miss Aubrey Duetes will be discuss this part and Miss Shaina Bualan will be discuss the programs.
The educational options of the deaf students. The education of the deaf has 3 constant underlying sources of tension, friction, and controversy. Where should deaf students be taught? Residential institutions, community services, inclusion, integration, mainstreaming, homebound instruction, special schools and units, SPED centers, self-contained tutorials. In residential institutions, the residential school is the point of contact for the deaf culture, where deaf students can pass on the stories or history to be shared from one generation to another. Community services. Students giving or volunteering of their time to provide aid to the community that improves the quality of life for those living in the community. Integration. Helps deaf children to master new skills, encourages them to strive for, and help them to develop a healthy and positive self-concept. Mainstreaming means that the school is putting the children with special needs into classroom with their peers who have no disabilities. Homebound instructions involves the delivery of educational services by school district personnel within the student's home. Special school and units. SPED Center is the Philippine innovation in the delivery of educational services to children with special needs. Self-contained tutorials. The term self-contained classroom refers to a classroom where a special education teacher is responsible for the instruction of all academic subjects. Where should deaf students be taught? Baguio City, SPED Center, San Lorenzo Ruiz College Institute or SLRI, Baguio School for the Deaf or BSD, SPED Easter College, other areas or STAC. How should deaf students be taught? They taught by oral approach, use a residual hearing development of speech hearing. Manual approach, use of sign language, finger spelling, pantomime, and natural gestures. Total communication, combination of both methods. What should deaf students be taught? General education subject matter content, English, Math, Science, Filipino, PE, and etc. Traditional areas of education of the deaf. Special curriculum features for the deaf. Rhythm, auditory training, speech and language.
Educational programs for hearing impaired. First is parent-infant programs. The parent-infant programs bring together children from infancy through preschool age, their parents, families, and a variety of early intervention professionals to work as a team and offer services to assist families in communicating and bonding with their children in the child's natural environment. When we say parent-infant programs, these programs aim at catching the hearing impaired very young. Such programs intend to monitor overall development of the concerned child. The second one is contact training for parents. Parent training is defined by the CEBC as a service to help parents improve their parenting and communication with their children. Parent training programs may also be called parent education programs and usually focus on skill building and problem solving. When we say contact training, it's all about to help parents improving their communication with their children, to communicate each other, and they usually focus on skill building and problem solving. The third one is preschool programs, integrated education in a regular school. For children diagnosed and entered at a very early stage, at most importantly have developed functional language, could be included in regular preschool programs. When we say integrated special education and related services into all aspects of its programs, this makes it possible to address the needs of both special needs and typically developing children. The second one is segregated in a special school. Children diagnosed late or those who have not developed adequate functionally language enroll in special preschool programs. The third is primary schools. Children either from integrated preschool programs or from segregated special school programs are enrolled in regular primary schools. Then is segregated in a special school is children who have still not developed good language and communication skills and need more assistance in reading and writing. Continue primary education in special school. When we say segregated in special schools in primary, children who have not still developed good language and communication, they more need assistance in reading and writing. Continue primary education. So, primary schools are children who need more assistance with their parents. The second one is secondary school programs. When we say secondary in high school or senior high, that is secondary. Integrated education in a regular school. Children from integrated primary or from special primary school may be placed in secondary school. Secondary section is a special school may not be available due to severe reasons. Second one is segregated special schools. Children who are, for one or the other reasons, could not be integrated in a regular primary school continue their secondary in a special school. Next is continual education. The National Open School provides an educational opportunity to children who wish to pursue further education but not do so in a regular school system. When we say National Open School, this school provides an educational opportunity to children who wish to pursue their children. There is education but cannot do so in a regular school system. National Open School is provide educational program for children who cannot go in the university that they wish. So there is National Open School to pursue their education. The foundation course and secondary education in two mediums, Hindi and English. Foundation course. Minimum education up to STD 5 is required for admission. The foundation's course is equivalent to STD 8. When we say foundation course, a program that will prepare you for an undergraduate degree at the university. Foundation course, the program that will prepare you for the undergraduate. And secondary course, minimum education up to STD 8. A foundation course done for National Open School is required for admission. The secondary education is equivalent to 10. Next is higher secondary education. Special schools. Hearing impaired children who have successfully completed secondary school from a recognized board of secondary education, either from integrated regular secondary school or special school or national open school, are eligible for admissions to higher secondary special school. Listed below are some much schools: Little Flower Convent Higher Secondary for Deaf and St. Louis Institute for Deaf and Blind Canal, Bank Road. Last is college education. Hearing impaired persons who have complete higher secondary education from integrated, regular, special school from recognized board of education are eligible for admission in regular college or are enrolled in IGNOU, Indira Gadhani National Open University for Higher Education. Segregated special college are also available at CSI Vocational High School for the Deaf Post and St. Louis Institute for Deaf and Blind, Canal, Bank Road. Thank you.